Shalom and good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcasting to you from Jerusalem. And in today's top stories, a reignited wave of violence entered its fifth day, plaguing the Jewish state with several attacks against Israeli security forces in both the West Bank and Jerusalem. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry expresses disappointment and frustration over the lack of progress in the peace process between Israel and the Palestinians. Syria's army announces the cessation of hostilities has come to an end while accusing terrorist groups in the war-torn country of exploiting the calm to rearm while violating the cessation of hostilities. A reignited wave of violence entered its fifth day, with several attacks against Israeli security forces in both the West Bank and Jerusalem. Early this morning, a Palestinian man charged toward an IDF force at a security checkpoint at the entrance to the Palestinian village of Bani Naim. The Israeli force managed to shoot and kill the assailant before reaching them. Since October of last year, Palestinian stabbing, shooting, and car ramming attacks have killed 33 Israelis and 2 visiting Americans and injured hundreds others. The attacks declined in recent months, but ahead of the Jewish high holidays, a surge in street violence has yet again plagued the Jewish state as tension rises between Muslims and Jews. Now to another matter, U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry expressed disappointment and frustration last night over the lack of progress in the peace process between Israel and the Palestinians. At a closed meeting at the United Nations headquarters in New York, Kerry said that there was no justification for terror, but also no justification for Israeli settlements on lands not recognized by the international community as part of the Jewish state. He said that construction in the Israeli settlements would lead to a reality of a one state, and that this was a recipe for ongoing conflict. Earlier, Secretary Kerry met with Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas and discussed efforts to resume the long-stalled peace process. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu left Israel earlier today toward the United States, where the Israeli leader will take part at the United Nations General Assembly. In the course of his visit, the Prime Minister will meet with U.S. President Barack Obama, during which Netanyahu will thank the American president personally for the defense aid agreement signed last week, which is meant to assure Israel's military qualitative edge in the chaotic Middle East. During the course of this trip, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is also scheduled to meet with UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon and visit an exhibition of Hadar Goldin paintings now showing at the UN headquarters in New York. Now to Israel's northern neighbor, where Syria's army announced that the 7-day cessation of hostilities has come to an end, while accusing terrorist groups, a term the Assad regime uses for all insurgents, of exploiting the calm to rearm while violating the ceasefire some 300 times. In a statement the Syrian military released, it vowed to continue fulfilling its national duties in fighting terrorism in order to bring back security and stability. The announcement comes after Syrian President Bashar al-Assad said that a U.S. coalition airstrike, which hit Syrian army positions near Deir ez-Zor on Saturday, were flagrant aggression, while stressing that the incident, which involved the U.S.-led coalition fighting against the Islamic State, revealed an increase in support for terrorists by countries opposing Syria. The United States expressed its regret over the incident, which Russia said killed scores of Syrian troops. The incident has raised tension between Washington and Damascus's chief ally, Moscow, which was the key component in establishing the nationwide cessation of hostilities. Nevertheless, in a bid to save the cessation of hostilities, it was the most significant breakthrough in months when it comes to resolving the conflict in Syria. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry urged Russia to control Assad, following the announcement by the Syrian army that the ceasefire was over.
Well, the Syrians didn't make the deal. The Russians made the agreement, so we need to see what the Russians say. But the important thing is, the Russians need to control Assad, who evidently is indiscriminately bombing, including on humanitarian convoys. So let's wait and see. We'll collect the facts.
The call by the American top diplomat, however, did not impress Moscow, as Russia's defense ministry stressed it considers it senseless for Syrian government forces to respect a cessation of hostilities unilaterally when it is being attacked by militants who cannot be reined by the United States.
В соответствии с российско-американскими договоренностями, с 19 часов 12 сентября в течение 7 дней в Сирии действует режим прекращения боевых действий. Необходимо отметить, что за это время добиться прекращения огня со стороны боевиков так и не удалось. По-прежнему гибнут сирийские военнослужащие и мирные граждане. Причиной создавшегося положения является то, что США не имеют действенных рычагов влияния на умеренную оппозицию и не знают реальной обстановки на земле.
Now to Israel's eastern neighbor, where Jordanians have begun voting today for a new parliament under revised rules meant to strengthen political parties in an election seen as a small step toward democratic reform. More than 4 million citizens of the kingdom were eligible to vote for a 130-member parliament, with 27 seats reserved for women, Christians, and ethnic minorities. Voters were hopeful this round of elections will produce an effective parliament.
إشي جميل إنك تصحى الصبح تكون عندك هدف إنك تقدم لهذا الوطن إشي برلمان يوافق مصلحة هذا البلد.
After almost a decade of boycotting the elections, the Islamic Action Front, the political arm of the Muslim Brotherhood, is participating this year. The Islamic Action Front is running as part of the Reform List, a coalition that includes independent figures like Christians in an attempt to widen their appeal. The Brotherhood wants sweeping political reforms but stops short of demanding the overthrow of the monarchy in Jordan, as it already faces increasing legal curbs on its activities, and if it tries to target the king, it would face detrimental consequences. Meanwhile, in an exclusive interview Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan gave to the Reuters news agency, which TV7 acquired, the Turkish leader expressed his unease about the advances by the Syrian Kurdish fighters and the Islamic State on the Turkish-Syrian border, while justifying the Turkish insurgency into its southern war-torn neighbor.
En uzun mesafede bir sınıra sahip olan ülke. 911 kilometre sınırımız var. Ve bu sınır sürekli olarak tehdit altında. Bu tehdit unsurları kimlerdir diye baktığımızda DAEŞ'ı görüyoruz, PYD'yi görüyoruz, YPG'yi görüyoruz. Ve bu tehditler neticesinde yüzlerce vatandaşımız ne yazık ki burada şehit olmuştur, ölmüştür. Tabii buna bugüne kadar biz hep tahammül ettik ve sabrettik ama en son Gaziantep'te ne yazık ki bir düğün merasiminde oraya 14 yaşında bir canlı bomba gönderen DAEŞ orada 56 kişinin ölümüne, 100'e yakın insanın yaralanmasına neden oldu. Tabii bu olaydan sonra artık daha duramazdık ve bizler de ılımlı muhalif kesimle beraber Cerablus'tan başlamak üzere artık oradaki adımı atmış olduk. Ve bizler tabii tüm yani silahlı kuvvetlerimizi buraya sokarak değil, sadece yönlendirici vasfı olan özel kuvvetlerimizle girdik. Ve ilk etapta Cerablus'u DAEŞ terör örgütünden temizledik.
Erdogan claimed that no lasting peace could be achieved in Syria without the removal of President Bashar Assad from power. Turkey is one of the main supporters of rebels fighting to overthrow President Assad and hosts around 2.7 million Syrian refugees. Thank you for watching us. Keep praying for the peace of Israel and the peace of Jerusalem. I'm Jonathan Hassan of Erev Tov, and we will see you again tomorrow at the same time.
In order to donate to TV7 Israel News, please follow these simple steps. First, press the Donate logo located at the bottom left side of TV7 Israel News Facebook page, or on the Donate tab at the head of the page. Then insert the amount you'd like to donate, and fill in your credit card information. Just like this. And press Review Donation and continue. After reviewing your donation details, please press Donate to finalize your donation. That's it! Your donation is now complete, and an email with your donation details has been sent to your email address. You can also print your donation receipt by pressing the link here. Thank you for supporting TV7 Israel News.